Oh, let's see if we can get this thing working. Oh my goodness. Come on, YouTube. What on earth is going on? Okay. Sorry about that, folks. I think got this stuff up and running. Okay, there we go. Looks like we're actually going. Lunch live stream about health. I'm gonna post this online, so if anybody else wants to join, then they know where to find me. Let me see here. We are talking about health and fitness and getting philosophical. There we go. Oh my goodness. No, we're not going to do that. All right, let's actually get down to brass tacks. Thank you guys for joining me once again for a lunch live stream. Like I mentioned, I think YouTube decided to switch up their interface, so it is quite different than it has been in the past. There is no like go live button anymore, and there's no stop streaming button anymore. So I don't know what they were thinking with this UI update, but I'm gonna try my best to I don't know, figure this stuff out. So hopefully live streams in the future don't go quite so rough, so we can actually get these things going a little bit more smoothly. For today, please do speak up in the chat if something's going wrong, if the live stream is choppy, if the audio is no good. Because like I've got just this bare idea of how the audience actually views these things. So yeah, if something does look strange, but definitely let me know. Oh, Fabian, thank you for joining the chat. He says, hey, Steve, how are you, man? What are you going to talk about today? Yeah, well, given the title, I'm going to be talking about health, fitness, exercise, and philosophy. And I think I spelled, oh, yeah, looks like I spelled philosophy correctly. Great. That's one of those words that every now and then I spell incorrectly. It's like, is it P-H-I-L-I-S-O-F? P-H-I-Y? Or is it an O? S-O-P-H-Y. But I think I got it right. And today, I stopped at this store and picked up one of my favorites, crowd pleaser, always a crowd pleaser, if I can get this darn thing open. A box of 1 dozen donuts. Great way to keep myself fueled for a long work day. I'm just hanging out at home, working from home as usual. And want to keep my energy levels up, so I got some nice sugary donuts. Oh my goodness. Could never go wrong with some donuts. And a glass of milk. Oh my gosh. Some nice donut and milk. Some donuts and milk, even. You know, I feel like while everyone's stressed out about COVID-19, like, you got to take care of yourself, definitely physically and emotionally, but it's always a good idea to treat yourself, make sure that you're extra happy. So I feel like it's good to go out of my way and eat something that's kind of crazy and ridiculous like this every now and then, even if it doesn't contribute to my physical health. It definitely contributes to my emotional health and my psychological well-being, because eating sugary foods like this just makes me happy, you know? So I hope you guys are hanging out at home, have a tasty snack to snack on while we discuss some topics. As per usual, kind of a random topic that I think is interesting. I'm going to be doing the whole, like, mile-wide, inch-deep overview of my thoughts on today's topic, which is, of course, health, fitness, exercise, things along those lines. And this idea that I like to call, like, the holy trinity of reasons why people exercise. And what was the inspiration for today was that, you know, I did my usual morning workout. I was feeling pretty good, so I got down to the track, decided to run a couple of 1 mile repeats. And while I was there, you know, you see a whole crowd of like different people who are at the track, and it's obvious that everybody is there for a different reason. You know, I'm like bolting really fast, trying my best to become better at running really fast. Like that's basically the reason why I work out, why I exercise like I do, is because like when I do events like a half marathon or a marathon, you know, my goal is to get from the starting line to the finish line as fast as possible, hopefully faster than everybody else. Doesn't usually turn out that way. I think 99% of the time we got a good clutch of really fast people out there who are faster than me, but that's what I'm doing, always trying to push myself. But at the track, you know, so I'm there practicing running really fast, but also these different groups of people are there. In particular, let's see, there was this group of like teenage girls who were kind of jogging around the track. It was really interesting to see. I started thinking about it. I wasn't making eyes at them or anything like that, but I noticed they were jogging around the track. Basically, they're like with the camaraderie, cheering each other on, and it was very obvious that, you know, when women of that age, especially, are exercising, doing cardio exercise, that kind of cardio exercise. A lot of times, it's because they want to improve their physique, or not improve their physique, but change their physique. In this case, they were all very, I don't know, slender, not overweight young girls, so I don't think that they needed to worry about it. But I know that's something that is, you know, a lot of people feel like they need to change their physiques. And when you get older and take it to the extreme, you know, this comes out in the realm of bodybuilding, how people are exercising specifically to change their physique. I don't want to say it's there to improve their physique or to make them more attractive, because like with bodybuilding, it's all about being impressive, not so much attractive. You know, you're going for a particular physique, and it is difficult to like pin down exactly what it is, that exactly what attractiveness is, I should say, because I know that's a very subjective thing. So I'm not really going to talk about that. But it is about changing somebody's physique. And along with that, you know, there was a lot of old people, I noticed. Seems like the track, there's a lot of old people there. And not just like, you know, 30s kind of old. I mean, like gray hair, you know, my parents' age kind of old, like 60s, 70s, 80s. We're just there, obviously, to get outside because it's a place where they feel comfortable just walking around the track, getting some fresh air. And I feel like, you know, when you're doing that, obviously you're not there to like make big changes in your level of fitness. You're not there to make big changes in the way that you look. A lot of times people are there just to, like I said, get some fresh air, to maybe change how their bodies are working on the inside, and that is to improve their health. Not only like their physical health by lowering, you know, cholesterol levels, blood triglyceride levels, stuff along those lines, but also to like improve their mental health, just enjoy the fresh air, that kind of thing. And especially in this time where we're dealing with COVID-19, you know, one of the things that is a strong indicator that you might not deal with a COVID-19 infection is in fact a low vitamin D level. So being able to get outside, even though like everybody puts a lot of emphasis on being inside and isolating yourselves, it turns out that being outside, getting a little bit of sun, making sure that your vitamin D levels are up to where they should be, is one of the best ways that you can, you know, fortify your health and fortify your immune system against a possible COVID-19 infection. Now, of course, I'm not a doctor. I can't like give medical advice, but that's the indication that's coming from the medical community right now. And that just kind of like walking around the track, you know, very gentle cardio exercise. Like, I'll be the first to say that the kind of exercise that I do is really not conducive to like improving health and improving lifespan, stuff along those lines. High, like that kind of tempo effort where my heart rate is really jacked up high, it is not as good as more of a gentle, moderate amount of cardio exercise where you're just like out walking or jogging very lightly, maybe a 10 or 12 minute per mile pace for 30 or 40 minutes. So I think that kind of lays out like what the 3 different goals are that most people have when they exercise. You know, for most people, you're either like me trying to improve your fitness so that you're able to perform some physical task like getting to the finish line of a marathon more quickly, or you're trying to improve your physique, where let's say you want to lose some weight, or maybe you want to get bigger muscles, things along those lines, or you're trying to improve your health, you're trying to optimize your health, your physical health, like your blood markers. Maybe your doctor told you that you need to get out and get a little bit more exercise, or like your mental health, just trying to get out and feel good and feel happy about what you're doing. Oh my goodness. Fabian, you're asking if I gain a little bit of permanent weight when I have one cheat meal for 2 days. I don't really believe that there's such a thing as permanent weight. I mean, your weight can go up and down. But I guess if you're eating, consistently eating in a hypercaloric state, then of course you're going to cause a little bit of weight gain that way. I mean, it's all like, you can get into the thermodynamics of it, I guess, if you want to, talking about if you're consistently eating cheat meals day after day after day, then, and of course not compensating for it by an increased level of activity, then of course that's going to cause some weight gain. And by permanent weight, I assume you mean just like adipose tissue. And I mean, that's generally what adipose tissue is. If you continually have high blood triglycerides and high blood sugar, then your body is just going to shuttle that, store that extra energy in how it does store long-term energy in adipose tissue. Whereas if you just have one cheat meal a week and consistently 6 days a week are in a hypocaloric state, then of course you're not going to see that weight gain, that kind of permanent increase in like body fat, stuff like that. Oh my goodness. This chocolate bar is a little bit dry. I think I need to dunk it in some milk. I do think just a simple chocolate bar and a simple maple bar, such a classic donut, but they are so good, guys. I love these things. They are so delicious. Always look forward to trying those. And I think that's like a good standard to judge whether or not a donut from a particular store or something like that is good. Just try them out and compare them to other places where we've gotten donuts. I think that's a great way to do it. Oh, Fabian, another great question. Asked if I've gained weight. Yeah, of course. My weight goes up and down all the time. I think that I'm not doing like giant food challenges quite as often as I used to nowadays. So I think during COVID-19, my weight has actually dropped a little bit. I feel like it's gone up a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but for a while I was wearing like the same pants that I was wearing in high school, basically. Nowadays I'm back up to like my normal, 150-ish pounds. But as a competitive eater, of course, your weight goes up and down all the time. Man, I hope this kind of like slurping and eating donuts so close to my microphone. Is that what ASMR is? I've never actually been sure. Like, I've had a couple of folks post that I should do more ASMR-ish videos. And honestly, the reason that I don't do ASMR videos is because, or the reason why I don't advertise my videos as ASMR and really focus on that is because I don't really understand how I would go about doing it. Like, it's the kind of thing that I would recognize if I saw, but I don't know how to create it very effectively. So that's the reason, if anybody ever asks. Okay, anyway, the kind of the interesting part, getting back onto the topic that I wanted to talk about, which is this trifecta of like health, fitness, and physique, is I've noticed that anytime, now if somebody is like off the couch and they've never exercised before, obviously they're going to see like great gains in all three of these aspects of their lives. They're going to see basically immediate results in how their body changes. In just a couple of weeks, they're going to be able to run further, lift heavier things than they ever thought than they might have ever thought was possible. And that's just like getting used to the idea of what their body can do. But if you do want to like try to approach basically like the pointy edge of any one of those three, where you want to be a professional competitive athlete, or maybe just an amateur level competitive athlete, or if you want to be a professional bodybuilder, or again, just an amateur competitive bodybuilder, then you do have to like start making sacrifices in those other two. Because like I said, the kind of exercise that I do is really not conducive to optimizing health and longevity. I exercise way too much. My cortisol is way higher than it should be. If I did want to optimize my health. And, every now and then I get questions from people asking how to build muscle. And I find it a little bit odd that people ask me that. Like, I've said before that, I'm not totally skin and bones, but I am definitely a pretty skinny guy. Like, I don't have giant muscles. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not the leanest guy out there. I'm pretty light. I'm pretty lean, but I don't have that 3% body fat, levels of body fat that you'd see from really competitive bodybuilders. So like asking me how to build muscle and how to improve your physique doesn't really make much sense, because the number one thing that I think I would do if I did want to build muscle and to look better with my shirt off is I would exercise less. I would change the way that I would eat, certainly. I would probably shift to eating more protein and a more of like more of an anabolic diet than I have right now. Ooh, pardon me. But like I said, the number one thing that I would do is I would cut my cardio down to like 10% of what I currently do. Honestly, it's very, very small percentage of what I currently do. Secondly, if you are somebody who's more into like the bodybuilding side of things, more into like the physique side of things, you do sacrifice your physical fitness in some respects. The kinds of exercises that bodybuilders tend to do is like 5x5, or the in the range of 8 reps per set, which is all 100% towards getting their muscles as big as possible while reducing their adipose tissue. And this does lend itself to a certain amount of fitness, where of course you do get a little bit stronger. Like I said, if you're starting from baseline and going into a bodybuilder regime, of course you're going to get a little bit stronger. But compare that to the 1 rep max, or like the 1 to 3 rep range that like strongman athletes tend to do. And then of course with bodybuilders, like if you put a bodybuilder in a middle distance or a long distance running competition, they would just get flattened. Like they just don't have the kind of stamina to do that. And that's not a knock against bodybuilders. Like that's their choice. That's something that they want to do. They're not exercising particularly to lift the heaviest weights or to run the fastest and the farthest. They're exercising specifically to look really, really good. Or I should say, I made that mistake. I shouldn't say that they're exercising to look good. I should say that they are exercising to achieve a specific physique. And you can even break it down into like different sections of types of bodybuilders and types of fitness athletes, where, if you put me up against like even a middling, like a middle school or a high school sprinter, I would get, I'd get my pants beaten off of me. Like I would not stand a chance against anything along those lines. Put me up against like, the B string on a high school sprinting team or something, like a high school track and field sprinter, and they would just, they would make me look like I didn't know what I was doing. Likewise, like if you took, their top sprinters, top like collegiate sprinter, and have them run a marathon alongside me, I guarantee you that I'd be able to outpace them for a marathon because we train in different ways. And likewise, you know, it goes without saying that I'm not as strong. I am a pretty wiry, like a decently strong guy, but I'm not as strong as somebody who power lifts regularly, that kind of thing. And likewise with physique, you know, you've got your, oh gosh, like the swimsuit kind of bodybuilders versus the what do you call them? The guys who just get as jacked and huge as possible. You know what I'm talking about? Like you get the really lean, more wiry bodybuilders versus the guys who are just there to get their muscles as large, like as inhumanly comic book large as possible. It's two different types of bodybuilding, two different types of physique. And of course, like I said, these are three different reasons to exercise, and those two, the fitness and physique, do go against like optimizing your health and your lifespan, things along those lines. So, like while I was there that morning, I was getting a little bit philosophical of looking at, you know, everybody is there on the track, running circles or jogging circles around. And it was kind of interesting to think that even though we were all in the same place, and somebody who might not be familiar with exercise at all, who's more of a couch potato, looking at us, they might think that all three of the types of people who are there might have been doing the same thing for the same purposes. But, you know, somebody who's a little bit more well-steeped in exercise and physiology, and like the exercise or the physiological response to exercise, is able to have a little bit more insight into exactly what's going on. So it is kind of interesting when you think about it, like what motivates people, that kind of thing. And of course, one of the things that motivates me to exercise so much is because it allows me to compensate for eating tons of calories in front of a camera. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up this lunch live stream pretty soon. I'll eat another couple of donuts. Oh my gosh. Anybody in the chat, got to let me know what your favorite kind of donut is. I think 100% maple kind of flavored donuts are my favorite. I think in this box right here, it might be the maple bar. Also got a couple of apple fritters that I haven't even touched. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you guys for joining me for this lunch live stream. We're coming to the end of summer, which means I'm going to be starting classes. Actually, I probably shouldn't even talk about that. I think I've got like 8 more weeks before classes start. So I don't know how my schedule is going to change when I go back to class. That's a little bit up in the air. I took the summer off of classes. Going to be going back to class in the fall. Still got to look at curriculums and choose what class or classes I'm going to do. And my contract working at 343 Industries was extended through March. So I'm still going to be hanging out there for another 6 months, which is really exciting. Great news for me. So I don't know how that's going to affect things, guys. I mean, I want to keep doing the like the challenge videos. I want to keep that up. I know I haven't been doing quite as many food challenges lately as I used to. Fabian in the chat with a couple of great suggestions for excellent challenges that I could do. A nice brownie cookie challenge. That sounds really good, actually. I'll have to check out what exactly constitutes a brownie cookies. Or it says a cupcake challenge. And what are you talking about? Your muscles look jacked. I wish I had those. Yeah, right. I think that I don't know. I think most people who meet me in real life are a little bit surprised at how small of a person I am, honestly. Like I said, I've got some muscles. I've got those kind of like skinny, wiry muscles, but I got some of them. I think that comes from obstacle course racing and training for those kinds of obstacle courses, where you do have to have a good balance of both endurance and a little bit of strength to actually achieve some of those obstacles. All right, like I said, thank you guys for joining me. It was fun. It's always cool to talk about, just kind of like wax philosophical about, physiology, exercise, nutrition, that kind of thing. And I'm going to be coming back on Friday. We'll see what I'm going to be talking about then. Maybe I'll just do like a regular rundown of news in the world of competitive eating. I haven't done anything like that for a while, so I think that's probably going to be the topic. Just talking about what's top of mind, what's going on in the media in the world of competitive eating. So until then, you guys have a good one. Stay safe, stay healthy, eat a donut because it makes you feel happy, and oh my gosh. So we don't actually have like the usual stop the live stream button. So I don't actually know how to end this live stream particularly, other than just like closing this window. Oh, and if I do that, I don't know how long this live stream is just going to keep on going. All right, I'm going to poke around the new YouTube live stream interface, which looks like they got rid of a couple of buttons that I really liked. So, like I said, live stream's over, folks. Thank you for joining me. I had fun. And until next time, you guys have a good one.